Welcome today. This is Kelly Fasterling with eXp Realty, and I am absolutely blessed today to have Mr. Tim Hollinden with me. Welcome,
Thank you.
Tim.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate the invitation. It's so nice to be on your show.
Thank you. Now, Tim has 20 years of experience as a realtor. He has an amazing story, which you're going to hear about. But he was a Remax franchise owner, had about 30 agents in his team, the fifth largest team there in Kentucky and Tennessee. And about 4 years ago, he made the move across to eXp and has grown that team 10 times the size. So, a very interesting history. But, Tim, talk to me a little bit. Tell me a bit about yourself and how you even got into real estate to begin with.
Okay. Well, my family will tell you I've talked about being in real estate my entire life. So I finally did it 20 years ago. Real estate was a second career for me. I owned an information technology company for about 20 years and ended up losing that after 9/11 and the
Mm,
downturn in the market as a result of that. Got into real estate immediately and started out part-time, as a lot of us do.
yes,
Um,
we do.
I also have a building and construction background, so I was remodeling basements and doing real estate at the same time, and really got tired of that because I felt like Superman in a cape, had to run in the phone booth and change clothes and go show property, then come run in the phone booth again and change clothes again to get back on to swinging a hammer. But so I did both for just a couple of years until my real estate business really started to take off. Then I dove in the pool completely, and
Yes.
the rest, as they say, is history. But I started my career at a Realogy company, ERA franchise,
Okay.
for about almost 8 years. Then I went to Remax for about a year and decided after that I really like the Remax model, and being the entrepreneur that I've been my entire life, I decided to buy my own Remax franchise. So I did that. And as you said, I grew that to 32, 33 agents, something like that. Don't remember the exact count. But part of my story, and I'll get into kind of why I'm at eXp today. And this is a bit, I hope it's okay to kind of get personal here with you, but I think it can impact a lot of agents because most agents have a hard enough time saving for their quarterly estimate payments, yet alone saving for retirement. And I had a major life-changing experience. At 49 years old, I was surprised with a quadruple bypass heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
And I'm a Christian, and I believed that it was my time to go, that the Lord was going to take me home. And the reason I felt that is because I was in the shape of my life. I had no high blood pressure, no heart disease ran in my family. I worked out at the YMC 5, if not 6 mornings a week. Just literally the epitome of health. Ate right, never smoked. Just there was no reason physically I should have been in that situation. But by the grace of God, obviously I made it because I'm here today to talk to you. But that I can remember feeling that I'm going to leave this world and I have not yet left my mark on it. And I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I had planned to do so much more. And when you're surprised with something like that, I mean, I literally, Kelly, had to get my house in order in 48 hours. I learned of this surgery on September 9th, and of all days, September 11th, that rings true in our world every year. That was the day of my heart surgery. But I ran a team at Remax at the time. That was the company that I owned. And that team gave me residual income during the 7 weeks that I was recovering. And ever since then, I was never looking to leave Remax, but I was always looking for something that would keep a real estate agent from living commission check to commission check. And those are the agents I love to speak to in our audience today. The individual agents or the broker owners. Unfortunately, bad things happen to good people, and you never know what life's going to deal you, good, bad, or ugly. And I certainly hope nothing ever bad happens to our audience or to you, but things do happen. So, my message is the power of residual income. Ultimately, when I got the phone call 4.5, well, actually, darn near 5 years to the day, right around mid-December of 2017, I got a phone call from a friend saying, "Hey, I'd like for you to look at this company called eXp Realty. I respect your opinion, and I'd like you to help me make sure I'm not making the biggest mistake of my life, because it's a fairly new company, but it's cloud-based." And I was a tech guy, so I always in the back of my mind have thought, how do we get rid of all this paper? And why do we have offices? I mean, agents don't come to the office for the most part anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I evaluated this model for my friend and ended up falling in love with it. I studied it for almost 2 months, tried to poke holes in it, because honestly, when I first saw it, it looked too good to be true. Couldn't poke holes in it. In fact, the deeper I dove, the better and better it got. So after doing my due diligence for 60 days, I went to my sales team in the Louisville, Kentucky market. And there were 7 of us. And I said, guys and gals, I've been studying this model. I think we should do it, but I want your buy-in and want your opinion, and then we'll make the decision together. And Kelly, in 90 minutes, we voted unanimously to leave Remax and come to eXp. And honest to God, it's changed my life in ways you can't even imagine. It's just been a real blessing. So sorry that got a little lengthy, but
there is so much to unpack in that story.
Well, there is. And you know, eXp not only has been incredibly financially rewarding, and it speaks to multiple streams of income. And if I never sell another house in the rest of my life, I'm okay, because I've got stock in this publicly traded agent-owned company, and I have revenue share that I get paid on almost 300 agents every single month when they have a closing. And the company pays me to grow the company. That's not money coming out of those agents' pockets. So it's really an incredible model, as you know. But I don't feel like I haven't left my mark on the world anymore, because Kelly, at least once every couple of weeks, I get a phone call or a text message or an email from an agent that I've introduced eXp to, that have joined us. And they basically just, thank you so much, Tim. You know, I used to have to borrow money for student loans for little Johnny, and now my revenue share income stream pays for not only his tuition and room and board, but even his meal plan. And I'm just so blessed that you thought of me when you called me to tell me about eXp, you know, a year ago or whatever it is. But that happens all the time. And I feel like I literally have impacted about 300 lives. And I didn't feel that way when I was on my deathbed back in 2013. So truly life-changing. Could not have made a better real estate decision in my entire career.
Well, and let's step backwards just a little bit, because there's so much I want to ask you about. When you moved from ERA to Remax, you had to go through some kind of decision process.
Yep.
What led you not to buying the franchise, but what led you just to Remax to begin with? What'd you like about the model?
Honestly, the compensation plan. You know, obviously it was a good brand. ERA was a good brand. Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams. I mean, they're all good brands. They're all known brands. But I went for the split.
Okay.
And then I bought my franchise because I am an entrepreneur, and I went for the split. You know, then I was sharing 100% commission instead of, you know, a 95% is the split I had at Remax.
Okay.
And so that was it. And I was super happy. Like I said, I was never, ever leaving Remax. I wasn't looking around. Now I will tell you this, the people that bought my franchise from me was another Remax owner in my market. And I stayed on and ran the company for 3 years for them.
Okay.
They were deciding, maybe we don't want to be a Remax anymore. So I was actually on the executive team helping them evaluate every real estate model out there. Do we go this franchise, this franchise, this franchise? Do we go back to independent? And so I was looking, but I was looking for them to see, you know, what does our company, or, you know, my company that they bought, that I was still running for them, what does that look like in the future? So eXp came up there as well. And that was sort of hit with both of those opportunities to learn about eXp in that process.
Okay. Well, and as you were this broker owner, there comes with it some liability, some great responsibility,
Yep.
some onus to your team members to keep them rolling. Tell me about that experience and tell me about what was great about it and what kept you up at night.
Okay. Yeah, great. And I just realized I didn't tell you part of the story relevant to the whole heart story. And so um, let me get into that and that'll answer your question. But January of 2014, so this was like 4-ish months after the heart surgery, I'm sitting in church that Sunday and was introduced to a sermon series that was going to run for the next X number of weeks. I don't remember how many, but it was entitled Simplify. And I can remember thinking, okay, God's talked to me twice, because after the heart surgery, my cardiologist told me, Tim, if you hadn't noticed that tightness in your chest, I never had a heart attack or anything, but I was in the gym and every morning my chest would get tight for only about 5 minutes and it felt more like stretching. So I stretched through it is what I was thinking. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this has been going on for 7 months. I should probably see what this is. So anyway, but I felt like God sent me a message then. And then I think he sent it to me again when he said, simplify your life, Tim. So that led to selling the Remax brokerage. But yeah, back to your other question, a lot of sleepless nights. Broker owners have the full responsibility of all the licenses, all the agents that hang under them.
Okay.
And it's kind of sad. I'm responsible for agents as a broker, but I really don't have control over them. They can go out and screw up and, I'm still going to get sued right along with them as the responsible broker party. So that was the stressful part of it. There's other stresses, not so much from the brokerage other than, obviously you got to cut that rent check every month. And, because Remax forced me to have an office, nothing wrong with Remax. That was in their franchise agreement. I agreed to it. But when you have an office, they also required me to have a warm body sitting at the front door. And then when you have an office and a warm body at the front door, you got payroll and payroll taxes. And then you got coffee and water, and back in the day, fax machines and computer systems, and just a lot of technology. And it's a lonely world as a broker owner in a franchise environment. Yeah, you have corporate support to an extent, but remember that saying you see everywhere: each office is independently owned and operated, and each owner is fully legally liable for that office. So, a lot of expenses that I felt were unnecessary, but required under the franchise agreement, and a lot of legal liability would probably be the top two.
How much, Remax is a huge brand. It's a great brand. Mm-hmm. How much collaboration did you have between different Remax offices, either there in Kentucky or across the nation?
One time a year at a convention.
Okay. Did people share a lot, or did they kind of just
no, high level stuff only. I mean, okay. There was no sharing in the local market. The broker owners would get together maybe once or twice a year locally, because there was 13 Remax offices in Louisville at the time that I owned mine, and we were the third largest one. But brokers wouldn't dare share secrets. I was competition. They were my competition. So again, It was more a good old boys club, good old girls club kind of get together, but not the collaboration. Certainly nothing even close to like what we have at eXp.
So in terms of the training, in terms of helping people grow their business, in terms of the business planning, all of those things, all that was on you as the broker owner.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you've got to go through a class when you buy your Remax franchise. It's required. You have to do it within 30 days of purchasing the franchise. I mean, there was 2 days worth of training, but that was it. I mean, nothing ever beyond that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to get a little bit more into eXp and some changes there, but I want to go just a touch farther. If you were talking to somebody today, somebody that really has that entrepreneurial mindset and they want to really own something, what would you tell them about franchise ownership in that traditional franchise model?
The traditional franchise model, I mean, it's really a rental agreement. You're really renting the corporate name to put on your building. You own the franchise, but the franchise also kind of owns you. I mean, you have to do everything by the book, the correct colors, the correct logos, and not that any organization is going to require that. And that's kind of minimal, but you own your company, but you're really renting the brand. and it's expensive. And you sign a 5 or 10-year agreement when you purchase a franchise.
Okay.
And most franchises, there's no exclusivity or territorial geographic area that, they literally could have put another Remax a block away. There's nothing we could do about that.
Okay.
So it's a little bit, dog eat dog when they create that competitive environment amongst like broker owners in the franchise system.
So you could get basically over inundated in your area with too
Yep.
many franchises if people were willing to buy them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There's no protection.
Literally water it down. Yep.
Got it. Okay. Okay. You were shown the eXp model. You kind of got an understanding of it. Tell me about your evaluation process, your due diligence process, why you'd go from, again, being that broker owner and that managing broker to this model where you're not.
Well, since I had already sold my baby, I didn't have any stress about any of that.
Mhm.
I loved mentoring, coaching, training my agents, and that didn't change. I get to do even more of that now at eXp, and I choose to do that. I don't have to, but I choose to, and that's part of my passion. That's part of giving back to other agents, pouring into other agents, not just my 20 years of experience, but everything else we do. We've got 80 hours of live training in our office at eXp every single week. Nobody else is doing that. Yeah, there's other brands where you could push play and have access to 80 hours, but it's not live and it's not interactive. So that's been unbelievable. But I didn't have any stress for the most part. I think, and it just dawned on me, the only thing I was a little bit concerned about is Remax. That's a big brand. That balloon marketing since 1974 has been in the sky a long, long, long time. And I knew it was a phenomenal brand. So my only hesitation really was that, am I going to a company that's not as well known? And tell you a quick story. This happened 3 times. In the fall of 2017, I had 3 different sellers contact me and say, Tim, come out, and we're interviewing agents. We want to learn what we need to do to our house over the winter to get it sold. And we're not going to list until spring. So I went out 3 different occasions, did my dog and pony. They said, great, we love what you're talking about. We love your marketing plan. We'll call you in the spring when we get all this done and we'll be ready. Well, I made the move to eXp between that first meeting and that second meeting. So they call me on the phone and say, Tim, we're ready for you to come list the house. Can you come out, this Thursday? So I go out, all 3, almost exactly verbatim. I said, well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, before we get started, I've got some really exciting news. And they're like, really, what? I said, well, I've switched companies. I'm now with eXp Realty. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate companies. And they're like, wow, haven't heard of it. I said, I pulled out our public company stock register. I said, well, here's our stock graph for the last X years. And it's a very successful company. The stock's growing in value and so on and so forth. And they're like, well, why did you make this move? I said, that's a great question, actually. I said, because eXp has a retirement plan for realtors. And where I was before, and most other brokerages don't have anything at all like this. Keller Williams has a profit sharing plan, but profit's only there if the office you work for is profitable. And eXp has a revenue sharing plan, and they actually pay me to help grow the company. So now, instead of selling real estate until I'm 80 years old and putting that key in the lock till I'm 80 years old, showing property, now I can actually retire when I choose to, or when I'm financially able to. And they're like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Okay, let's get back to business. Where do we sign? And almost all 3 times went exactly that way. So, and I knew, I told you I was worried about it. I wasn't really worried about it. That was my only thought in the back of my mind. I knew,
Right.
Buyers and sellers do business with agents because of the relationship they have with the agent. It's not about the brand. It probably was in the 70s and 80s, but it hasn't been that way for the 15 to 20 years I've been in the business. So I knew intellectually that they would be okay with that because, I wasn't going to market their home any differently. In fact, there was actually some things I could do even better. But that was my hesitation. And after that, I was like, yeah, this just solidified what I knew, but still was a little bit fearful of.
So you've in the 5 years or so that you've been here, has that ever come up as an issue? eXp?
No,
Okay.
never.
They're hiring you.
Yep.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, a buyer goes online and they click on something and they just want to go see the house. They don't care what banner you fly.
No, they don't. They don't.
A seller might care a little bit more, and that's why I was a little more concerned about it. But no, my marketing plan, what the money I'm going to spend to sell your house doesn't change. So why would the brand matter? It just never has.
Right. Now you got this message, simplify your life.
Mm-hmm.
You've
Twice.
now gone from twice. You've now gone from 30 agents and owning a franchise to dropping down and managing it to moving to eXp as an individual agent. Now all of a sudden you've got 300 agents on your team.
Yep.
How is that simplifying your life?
Well, my team is more of a traditional, or what's the word I'm looking for? I had a traditional selling team and still do. That hasn't changed, but I call it my organization. You know, the people I've invited that have invited people that have invited people that have invited people. And all of a sudden you wake up one day and I've got roughly 270 agents in 4 countries and 22 of the United States. I mean, that's my organization when I talk about it in that realm. And those are the people that I get paid rev share from the company on for having brought them to the company and growing the company. That's not been stressful. I mean, my responsibility to those agents is to help them attract agents if they want to. Beyond that, I could literally just plug them into the right training classes and they have absolutely everything they need. So I don't have the legal liability of those 300 people, but
Okay.
I get paid on them even more so than I would have gotten paid on them if I was responsible for them legally in my own franchise company.
Okay. Are you training them?
Yes. I am a founding member of an organization in eXp called the Freedom Team. The Freedom Team was built to create financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. And I think all 3 types of freedom are very, very important. A lot of people talk about financially free. Woohoo! What if you have millions of dollars in the bank, but no time to spend it? What if you have millions of dollars in the bank, but you're stuck in one place and can't go anywhere and really enjoy and explore the rest of the world? So that's what we try to do is pour into other agents and teach them how to be financially free, location free, and time free. And we do that. You know, I've already mentioned eXp offers over 80 hours a week of live interactive training. Well, the Freedom Team has another 18 classes, I think it is, every single month, where we're pouring into people like yourself, you know, mastermind trainings by some of the best agents in the world, coming on every single Tuesday and teaching a mastermind sales class. And, you know, I could go on and on and on. And, but I mean, it's just constantly pouring into agents. And the collaboration at eXp, I will say this too. I like to compare the collaboration that I have now versus what it used to be. And picture this. If you're in a local real estate office, a brick and mortar, the training is typically done by the smartest agent in the room. The smartest agent in the room is teaching the rest of the agents, but they never give 100% of their knowledge because they know they're training their competitors. So how much did I really learn? I mean, I can remember, and I experienced this in 3 different scenarios. My ERA experience, my Remax experience, and then even in my own office, I would ask an agent to train on something I knew they weren't giving at all. And at eXp, we don't have that. Collaboration is one of my favorite of our core values. And I talk about that because in my prior life, I didn't own the company with the rest of those agents, and now I do.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit more about why this collaboration model actually works. Why is somebody willing to give all their stuff? Because some of it's going to go to some of their competitors, but most of us aren't competitors. Why are they giving it all up?
Because we all own the company. And if I can help you as an agent, Kelly, do better or help you attract more agents, you win. And when you win, the company wins. And when the company wins, I win too, because I'm one of the owners of the company. That's true collaboration. Another thing I've experienced, let me say it a different way. I've received more referrals from eXp agents all over the world in 4.5 years than I did in the first 16 years of my real estate career. And I'm convinced that's because of agent ownership. You see, I had no incentive when I was with ERA or with Remax to send a referral to an agent in another city that was part of the same company I was a part of. I didn't own it. I didn't care. I just wanted a really awesome agent like yourself. If I've got a Colorado Springs area agent, I'm going to refer that to somebody at eXp. Again, because I'm helping them, that helps the company, that helps all of us as agent owners. And that wasn't the case. There was no incentive to do so in my prior life. And I'm fairly sure that's why I've gotten way more referrals in 4.5 years than I did in the prior 16.
Yes. Yes. Now, real estate agents, we're independent. We're kind of on our own. There are some other tools inside eXp that provide a little bit of value to agents, things like healthcare, things like some of the marketing resources, things like some of the leads. Talk a little bit about how your agents have taken advantage of any of those kinds of extras that come along.
Okay. Well, first of all, there's a handful of people that are taking advantage of their group medical insurance that we have at eXp. And I've never seen that in another real estate company anywhere ever before. We're 1099 agents, like you say, independent contractors. How they figured out how to have a group insurance plan that 87,000 real estate agent can benefit from is beyond me, but we're doing it. And personally, I'm saving almost 50%. I'm personally on that group plan, and I'm saving almost 50% from what I was paying previously with a comparable plan with another carrier.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is. Another huge benefit that my agents in my Louisville, Kentucky real estate team take advantage of is, we all get this KV Core software. And KV Core is our CRM, it's our website, and it is a freaking lead generating machine. I've got agents generating 10, 15, 20 leads a week using this product. So everybody's come over, they start immediately growing their business beyond what they were doing at their prior brokerage because of this extra lead source. And these are not leads that a brokerage is providing you and then wanting 40% referral fee in exchange. I mean, these have no referral fee. These are self-generated with that one product that we all get. And that's life-changing. Another thing my agents take advantage of is our stock plan. For doing the exact same thing they did at their prior brokerage, they get a $200 stock bonus every year when they close their first deal that year. When they recruit an agent to the company, they get a $400 stock bonus. When they hit that cap and go to 100% commission, they get another $400 stock bonus. Large producers like you and I that have won the Icon Award, that's selling 20 homes after reaching your cap. The company gives you your entire $16,000 cap back in stock. That's been life-changing for myself, because our stock was $3.80 in 2018 on the average for the year. It trades around $12 today. Well, that's 3 times more valuable. So 16 became 48,000 for every year that I won it. And, the stock prices have obviously been going up through the years. So the multiplier is not as significant in the later years, but those are extras. I'm not doing my job any differently, but I'm being rewarded handsomely in multiple ways for doing exactly what I used to do.
Right.
That answer your question? That
answers my question. Now, you had talked about, you didn't use the term legacy, but the leave behind, I'm not ready to go yet. I haven't done what I was brought on earth to do.
Yep.
You feel like you're definitely done a whole lot more since then. Talk to me about some of the stories of some of the agents whose life you've impacted by just being here and being a part of their path and their course.
Okay. Well, one story I told you, the mother that now pays for the child's college tuition, room and board in cash when they used to have student loans before eXp. It's huge. I mean, I've got agents and everybody's relative to their own situation. Yeah. Somebody else would call up and say, Tim, my rev share check every month makes my car payment. And that's amazing for them. It is amazing. Other people have retired their spouse, meaning their job at eXp, they're making enough money where their spouse no longer has to work. Just awesome stories like this. I heard a story where one person bought their parents a home, and their parents were always renters for their entire life. I mean, these are tear-jerking, hair-raising on your arms kind of stories. I get goosebumps when I talk about it. But yeah, it's those kinds of things that are making an impact on the agents that we have. It blows me away when somebody doesn't want to learn about our company because they have no idea what they don't know.
Right.
And that would be my message to anybody that's listening that's a real estate agent is, you owe it to your family, not just yourself, but your family, to learn about this real estate model. Because if your spouse knew about it and you weren't with us, they'd probably make you join. Because it's really taking money out of the family's pocket. And you mentioned legacy. We'll talk about legacy in another way. That revenue share income that pays me every month, when I die, it's willable to a loved one. So now I've left not just an insurance policy like I was going to leave when I die, if I died in 2013, but now the insurance policy is still there. And by the way, there's residual income for the rest of their life. And then when that person dies, they can will it to somebody else. So I've truly created a legacy in that regard, a financial legacy that I hope will benefit my great grandkids. And I really believe that it will. Now that is a real estate commission. So the person you leave it to needs to get a real estate license if they don't have one. And the company will give them a whole year to do that, which you can go through real estate school in 2 weeks in the state of Kentucky, take the test and have a license. And the reason behind that is because that revenue share income is a commission, and it's illegal to pay a commission to a non-licensed person. So that's the logic behind that. But so there's another legacy that's being left in addition to the legacy of having impacted hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents' lives. And you're also leaving a legacy to your immediate family. And that's why somebody should at least have an open mind enough just to take a look and learn about it. I know you and I are very much the same in this regard. There's never any pressure. No, I'm not going to ever ask somebody to join that doesn't really believe it's the best thing in the world for their situation. Just learn, just be educated, know what one of your options are. So if an agent ever does decide to make a decision, and in a market like we're in right now, agents are coming in droves. We were already bringing on 500 to 1,000 agents a week, but now they're coming in droves because our model's better, it's cheaper, it's got more tools, more training, more talent, more, all the things we've been talking about so far on the show. There's good reasons to check it out. And in an uncertain market, people are looking at, am I really at the best place? Is there a better model or a less expensive model? And so all that's going on. I mean, I know you're doing this too. You're doing a phenomenal job in the recruiting of other agents right now. Look at your numbers every day, and I know you have some momentum right now.
Thank you. Now, real estate for you is somewhat of a family affair with Angie, with Tara, with your other kids. Talk about the family environment that you've created.
That's a great question. I never pushed my children to do anything, never pushed my wife to link arms with me and grow this thing. They all came to me. My wife called me one day and she said, Tim, I'm walking out the door of a current employer and you need to hire me. Holy crap. How are we going to do this? I was like, all right, come on over. We'll figure something out. And that was when we owned the Remax office, and she ended up running that office for me, did all the bookkeeping and so forth. Well, both of my children, TJ and Tara, boy and a girl, both came to me and said, Dad, I want to get in the real estate business. Well, actually, they always talked about it as children. Even we want to be a realtor like you, Daddy. I'm like, fine. When you're old enough, when you're 18, go get your real estate license. And after you get it, we'll talk. And that's kind of the way I left it. And then neither one of them did it at 18, but several, I don't know, some years after that, whenever it was, I don't remember how old they were exactly, but they both ended up doing just that. They said, all right, we're ready. We're going to go get our real estate license, and will you work with us? And, obviously they're on my team in Louisville and with, the 5 other people. But so that's been good.
That's got to be such a gift to have that commonality and that vision going forward, because the opportunity for them, as I look at my 3 children, the opportunity of how they can stretch and grow. If you and I had this model when we were 18, 20, 25, where would we be today? Uh,
Yeah.
it's neat to see how I see Tara all the time, and just to see how she's just jumping in and engaging. That is just
Yeah.
so neat, so neat. So if you look now and you fast forward real estate for 20 years, the last 5 years you've been at eXp, how has it truly changed who you are as a person?
Um, as we all grow old, we learn, we probably know it, but we are financially capable of practicing it, and it's giving more. Whether it's tithing at your church or like we're doing, and just pouring into real estate agents and making them more knowledgeable and smarter and having better tools and talent and opening up to getting paid multiple ways. I mean, just giving to them. I mean, honestly, Kelly, that's all I do. I don't sell much real estate anymore personally because I don't have to. And I don't say that to brag. I'm excited about that. I'm proud of that. My goal to not unlock doors at 80 years old, I realized 18 months after joining eXp. I'm 57, 58 today. So about 3 years ago at 55, I didn't have to sell real estate anymore. I still do on occasion. My team handles most everything. And if my clients are watching and listening, I'm still there to take care of you if you want to deal with me instead of a member of my team. I still do that. I work with past clients and friends and family and so forth. But my primary job is just loving on real estate agents in those 22 states in those 4 countries. And that helps accomplish part of my location freedom, because financially I can fly. I flew to Mazatlan, Mexico about 2 months ago and spent some time with my agents down there. Had a wonderful vacation, had a wonderful time. It was a great experience and pouring into them. And, so I've really incorporated all the things that I love, and that's travel and pouring into the agents in a market. I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee, and at the end of January to pour into some agents there. And in fact, I wrote them all out earlier. I don't know why I did this today, but Gatlinburg, there's a cruise in March. I'm going to Cabo at the late March, early April. I'm going to Orlando in May. I'm going to San Antonio in July and Vegas in October. That's already set in stone. Hotels booked, flights are being booked as we speak. And it's just fun.
And those are all the eXp conferences that you're going to.
Yuck. Some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them are little side events that we're doing with just people in our organization.
Yeah.
But yeah, all eXp related and all in wonderful, exotic places for the most part. And, that incorporates, having the financial freedom to be able to do that. And then the location freedom to be able to do that where you want to do that. And then, with the people you want to do it with too is another thing that we should probably put in there. But having the time and the location and the finances to do it is just a wonderful thing. And it satisfies what I didn't feel I had done when I thought I was not going to make it.
Well, and you've mentioned a couple times, 20 states, 4 countries. When you were running your Remax business, you were in Louisville.
Yep.
And you were dependent on that Louisville market.
That's right.
How does it look different to you now to be in 20 states and 4 countries? What does that do for you?
It gives me endless opportunity, first of all. I have agents in Australia, I have agents in Portugal, I have agents in the US, I have agents in Mexico. I literally can call an agent I know anywhere in the world where eXp is licensed to do business and start up shop, if you will, in that market. Okay. I mentioned earlier there were 13 Remaxes in Louisville when I owned mine. So I had 12 Remax competitors. So my ability to attract agents to my brokerage was about a 5-mile radius, because if you wanted to be a Remax agent, you typically hung your license at the office closest to your home. So when you had to go to the office, it was convenient. Now we have no walls. We have no geography. We have no territory. I literally can call an agent anywhere in the world and talk to them about joining eXp if we're in there. And we're in 24 countries. So we actually have agents in every time zone around the globe, but we're not in every country yet, obviously. But we're adding 2 or 3 countries usually every quarter. So about 9 to 12 countries a year. just rapid expansion. We'll be 500,000 agents in 5 years.
And that's a whole nother blessing, the ability to gift this kind of income and abundant model to folks in other countries that may have never seen or had this kind of opportunity before.
Right. Well, most of them in all the countries I'm familiar with that I have agents in, our model is significantly better than what previously existed with the other real estate companies in those countries. So, I mean, just that is changing lives to those agents in those countries right now when they join us.
Yeah, exactly. One more question for you, because I know we're running out of time here. Tell me what unexpected benefit, what more you want to share with folks that are on this call today that I haven't asked you about.
It's really kind of the same answer of another question, and that is on the stock ownership side. I had no idea what that was going to grow to.
Okay.
And I can tell you, it's a lot. Mind-blowing kind of number. And I did not come to eXp to recruit. I came to eXp because they have a freaking awesome sales model, and I love the tools and the training and all the systems we get.
Okay.
I brought my 6 team members with me out of the gate, and this is what I did not expect. I did a Facebook post the day I resigned. When I turned in my resignation, for 2 weeks later, I was leaving as the principal broker. I did a Facebook post that basically said, I'm so excited to announce that I'm resigning as the broker of Remax, and Remax Champions was the name of it. And I'm moving the Hollinden team, which is the name of my sales team in Louisville, to eXp Realty at the end of the month. I got my first phone call 4 days later. It was a Saturday. And it was a co-owner of a Keller Williams franchise. It said, Tim, I've known you for years. What in the heck is going on? Why are so many agents going to eXp? Would you please tell me about it? And I said, sure. I spent an hour and a half on the phone with her. She signed up almost that day. I mean, I think it was a day later. And she brought 10 or 11 people with her.
Oh, wow.
And I had no idea the explosion that would happen. As I said, I didn't come to eXp to recruit. I was bringing my 6 agents, and I figured, if I find an agent that's thinking about making a move, I'll talk to them about it. But it was not anything I had ever planned to do proactively.
Right.
But it just started happening. And it happens 2 or 3 times a year. Somebody will call me and say, Tim, I know you've been at eXp for a while now. How do you like it? Tell me about it. And they join. So, and we talked about my children, Tara and TJ. Tara is an active recruiter. TJ wants nothing to do with it. But they both have revenue share because TJ's gotten those phone calls. TJ, you happy at eXp? Yeah. Why do you ask? Well, I'm thinking about making a move. I'd like to learn about eXp. Okay. My dad and I will meet with you and we'll show you everything you need to know. So he's not even recruiting, but making residual income, and will for the rest of his life. And he can give that to his kids or his spouse if he goes first. Right. So that's probably the biggest thing. And the numbers are just blowing me away. I mean, you do the math. I don't have to sell real estate. I can live on my rev share.
Which is, you don't hear that from realtors. No. You don't hear about them retiring and having choice. And you've created choice.
Kelly, I've never, ever, ever, ever been to a realtor retirement party because they don't retire. They work until they die. Yeah. And I've had 3 friends in the last 6 or 7 months, realtors, pass away. And they died with none of this. Right. Because they're friends that had not seen the light or were closed-minded or weren't just open to learning. I'll put it that way. Yeah. It's sad. So their family has insurance, but their family doesn't have residual income that would keep paying them for the rest of the spouse that they left behind's life.
Well, and I do finances for people and help them move to retirement. And the opportunity we have here is unheard of and unseen. anywhere else. Anywhere else. It's
Absolutely.
amazing. So, Tim, thank you. Your
You're
heart, your wisdom, what you've shared, it's been immensely valuable for people. So thank you for just speaking from your heart.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's the only thing I know how to do. So easy peasy, as they say. But thanks for having me on the show. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed the conversation, and I hope this impacts a lot of lives for your viewers. I really, really do.
Thank you so much.
My
Take
pleasure.
care and have a beautiful day.
All right. You too. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.